Yeah. So we will start with Python first. Who is there? Anyone new for today? Is there anyone new for today who is not there in the other classes? Yeah. Anyone else? Anyone else new for today? Yeah. So let me explain you. I will just give a very brief of syllabus. So we are going to start with actually Python basics. Then we will see Selenium, and we will see frameworks. We'll see both manual testing and automation testing. We'll see a complete project. So we will see 4 to 5 frameworks in Python. Then we will see Git and Jenkins. We will see API testing, complete manual and automation, and then we will also see interview preparation. And I'll share you 100 plus HR contacts at the end of the class. Okay, and also I'll schedule interviews for those people who are extremely good performing all of the season. I mean in the class. Okay. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is like I'm going to just for 5 minutes we can discuss the syllabus. So we are going to see everything as part of Python with Selenium. We'll start with Python. We'll see Selenium concepts. We will see all the frameworks in Selenium. We'll see manual testing, automation testing. So real-time agile methodology, complete end-to-end project. Git and Jenkins we'll be seeing. We'll see all the other concepts. Okay. So API testing, both manual and automation we'll see. Okay, I will explain you the last 5 minutes of the class. Let's because there are a lot of people who are already there. So people who are newly joined who are not aware of what we are going to see. So you don't need to worry, guys, because I'm going to start with Python basics. People who are already very good in Python, so it will be like a revision for you guys. Please be patient and do just try getting the revision of the things. We will take for first 5 days. First 5 days we will 5 days to 1 week. We will see Python. Okay. So this is just like a basic understanding of Python, because if we want to start Selenium with Python, we need to have some basics of Python. So without that, we cannot start. So I'm going to start with Python. So please go on mute now, who is not speaking. Krishna Sundar. Okay. So I will be explaining you 2 topics today: installation and variables, keywords and literals. Okay, this one everyone knows. I hope like a lot of people who are joining this course, a lot of people knows and a lot of people are freshers. Don't worry if you are freshers and no idea about coding. We are going to see it everything very clearly. Okay, so our target is to understand each and every topic clearly, and then we will try working together to reach our target. Okay, we'll try working together to reach our target. Our target is to get the job. Okay, I'm here to help you. So I'm here to help you to reach your target. So every day we will try to work accordingly. So start. So installing the Python. So how we are going to install, because we want to work with Selenium, we need to have Python in our system. So without Python in our system, we cannot able to install. How do we start installing Python? So Python is an open source, guys. What is Python? Python is an open source. What is open source? It is freely available in internet. So you don't need to buy learning for Python. You don't need to buy learning for Python. You can directly start it. You can directly start with this. Okay, I will try to explain you what does it mean. So Python is a open source. Open source means what? It is freely available. You can able to go and download directly from the Google. Okay, so let us see how do we download Python. So we need to go to a website called www.python.org. Okay, this is called as a Python. Okay, Python website where you find your Python file to be downloaded, or your executable file to be downloaded. So this is a website where you find your Python. So this is the organizational repository where you find all your Python documents and Python downloads, executable versions and all stuff. Okay, so this is the place where you will find all this Python related stuff. So if I want to download a Python, what I need to do? I need to do something here. I need to go to downloads. So can you just mouse over on downloads? You can able to see Python 3.2. This is the latest version of Python which is there in the market. Okay, you can download any version of Python, 3.8, 3.9, 3.2. So I prefer you download any version after 3.5. Okay. So it's better to download 3.4 because 3.4 is the latest version. So what you need to do, just you need to go to this website, just mouse over on downloads. You will see mouse over on downloads. You will see Python. So when you mouse over on Windows, because your system is Windows machine, right? You're not working on Mac or you're not working on any other operating systems. So you can mouse over on Windows and then you will find this one. Just to click on it. What you need to do, click on it. So once you click on it, can you able to see, right? It is able to download. Okay, you can able to download it. See, once you have downloaded it, you need to double click on it, or you can able to do a single click. So you will able to see this is the Python setup. So you have to install it. Once you have downloaded it, now it is a time to you to install the Python. So you can do a upgrade version. If you are having any other versions, it will say you that you have to upgrade it. Okay, if you are got it right, are you getting right? If you are having any other versions already, you will get a upgrade version here. If you are downloading for the first time, you will get install now here. Okay, are you getting what I'm trying to say? Okay, first time you are downloading, you will get install now. If you are already having some version, you will get upgrade. So I'm just clicking on upgrade, but I'll cancel it. However, I'll cancel it. So what you need to do, you need to click on install now. Okay, you will click on install now. What you're supposed to do, you have to click on install. Please rejoin. No, someone who is not or able to hear me voice, they can rejoin. Okay, new people, please be stay till the last time, because I will explain you the syllabus and I'm going to explain you what we are going to see for next to 45 days. Okay, we are going to work as a target. We are going to work on a target to learn all the topics of Selenium and Python and also testing. Okay, to reach our target. So what I'm trying to say here is how to install Python. So what you need to do first, you need to go to this website, mouse over on this one, downloads, and click on the latest version of Python. So you need to mouse over here, you need to clear here, click on this. Once you click on it, you will see a downloadable file. You need to double click on it. So you will see two versions here, two different tabs here. One is install now, and other is customize installation. You can directly click on install now. So you should wait till complete installation is completed. Finally, you will get here setup successful. Here the reason setup failed I got, the reason because why I got setup failed means I have what I did, I have just cancel the setup. So if you don't cancel the setup, you will get setup failed, because I don't want the latest version now, because already I have the version which I want in my system. So I don't want the latest version. Okay, are you guys clear what I'm trying to say? I am trying to do a installation. Otherwise, I'll show you. I cannot do it because a lot of things will be impacting according because of that. So see, I'm trying to click on 3.9.4. Double click on it. Once installation is done, you will get here install now. Click on this. Make sure it is completing till the last. I'm canceling it, but you should not cancel it. Once you complete this, you will get a setup successful. Okay, that is what it is going to do. So once you are done with that, okay, so once you are done with that, please, if you are not able to hear the voice, please rejoin. Okay, please rejoin the class, everyone who is not able to understand. So once you have downloaded Python and installed Python in your system, then now your Python is ready to use it. Okay, you're ready to use Python. So for that, you need to do two changes, guys. Again, first change, what you need to do is you need to restart your system. You need to restart your system. Before restarting your system, you need to give the path. Okay, environment variables. You need to just say environment variables. So there is something called edit the system environment variables, right? What is the system? Okay, you can able to click on this environment variables. Okay, you need to say environment variables, because why we are using this one, why we are trying to use this environment variables. Your Python is downloaded in some folder. So if you are running a file related to Python in that folder only, it will work. But if you want to run a file of Python in any folder, then you need to set this environment path. Understood, right? Are you getting right? What you're understanding, I'm trying to say. If you want to run this anywhere from your system, you need to say this one. So go to the environment variables, use path, use say path, create a variable called path. If you don't have it, create path, path, and then create the variable. Okay, provide the variable value. Okay, provide the variable value. So provide the variable value means give the path of where your Python is downloaded. Okay, you have to give the path of where your Python is downloaded. See, it is downloaded in. See, if I edit it, it's downloaded it. I have 3.9 version. Okay, I have already 3.9 version. You have to give the path of your python.exe. See, I'll show you. Where is it? Can you see the Python is installed here? You can able to see python.exe. Okay, there is a file called python.exe. You have to give the path where that python.exe is there. Okay, this is a python.exe. Can you see it is a exe file? It's a exe file. What file it is? Exe file. Why? Because it is an application. Whenever it is application, it is a exe file. So you have to give the path of it. You need to go and give the path of. So just copy the path and provide it here. Then click on OK. Then OK. Then restart your system. Okay. Understood, right? What you need to do, everyone? You have to download it. See, it is just like step by step I'm saying. Okay, I'm saying you all the basics, guys. Even though you know it, please be patient. The reason again I'm saying it, for people who are freshers who doesn't have any experience on this. Okay, so people who are already experienced, please be patient. Okay, because we will start from ABCDs. Okay, so once you are done with that, you just open command prompt CMD. You need to restart your system. After restarting your system, you need to say type Python hyphen version. Okay, can you see Python 3.1 9.1? So that means I have 3.9.1 version in my system. So if you are installing now, you will get 3.9.4 because I have 3.9.1 because I have installed 3.9.1. So now if you are installing, you will get 3.9.4. Are you clear, everyone? Are you clear with this step? Till this step, everyone is clear? So this is the way where we have started, where we have to, start using this Python. Okay. So this is very clear. This is very simple, and I don't want to explain you multiple times because this thing almost. Is there anyone who doesn't have any experience or any knowledge on Python? Can you please speak out or message me? Who doesn't have anything, any knowledge on Python? Who doesn't have any knowledge, zero knowledge on Python? Is there anyone in the batch? Okay. Krishna Chandra Parisa. Okay. Any other person? Ashok Kumar. Rakesh. Okay. So almost a lot of people doesn't have any idea. Don't worry, guys. Okay. Don't worry. I will explain you everything. Right. See what we did. We have just installed Python. Once we have installed Python, so now our target is what? Our target is what? We have to use Python code. Okay. So today we are going to see two topics. First topic is how to create variables in Python. Okay. And second topic is what are the different identifiers. Okay. And then keywords and also the literals in Python. That simple things we are going to see. Okay. So how to create a variable in Python? How to create a variable in Java? Anyone knows Java or C or C++? If you want to create a variable in Java, you say int a equal to 10, right? That means you are creating an int variable which is a and the value of it is 10. But in Python, Python is also called as a dynamic typal language. What is Python called as? Python is called as a dynamic typal language. So what does dynamic typal language means? Dynamic typal language means you don't need to type. See what is dynamic typal language. So Python features. We are saying Python features. Very simple things. So Python is a open source. What we have seen, Python is a open source. First step. Why open source? It is openly available for everyone. Everyone can go to Google and download it from the Google. Second step, what we are seeing, Python is a dynamic type of language. Dynamic type of language. Okay, Python is a scripting language. Python is a programming language. All the things will come into picture later. I'll tell you what does it mean. So what is dynamic type of language means? You don't need to say any predefinition of, or you don't need to predefine any data type before any variable is created. You don't need to say int, float, okay, string, nothing you need to say. In Python, you should not say any variable, okay, any pre-declaration of data type before any variable. So you can directly say a equal to 10. Okay, if you say a equal to 10, your Python interpreter, there is something called interpreter. Interpreter is something that can able to understand what you have written. See, there should be someone, right? If you are writing int a equal to 10, your Java compiler can able to understand, JVM can able to understand, okay, there is an int variable created. Similarly, if you say only a equal to 10, in Python also there should be someone who should understand it, right? Who should understand what is AE? AE is a int variable. It should understand that A is a int variable. Understood, right? So very similar to that. Very similar to that. Okay, Python has something called interpreter. Okay, Python has something called interpreter. Python has interpreter. Interpreter is what? Interpreter is nothing but it is going to convert whatever you are writing into the machine level language. Okay, you are writing, right? Whatever you are writing, it is going to convert. There is something interpreter which is there back, which is going to convert this thing into the machine level language. Okay, zeros and ones, and then it will convert back to the user understandable language. By printing a, you get 10, right? Can you able to see 10? So how it is able to understand? It is able to understand that the user is creating a variable into variable and storing a value called 10, and then when he wants a, when he is asking what is a, you have to give 10. So all things who are doing, your interpreter is going to do. So that's why Python is also called as an interpreted language. Okay, it's also called as an interpreted language. Interpreted language. So what is an interpreter? Interpreter is a converter. Okay, interpreter is a converter. What does the conversion do? What does it do? It converts whatever you write. It converts whatever you write to the machine understandable language. Okay, it converts whatever you write to the machine understandable. You say a equal to 10, so that should be converted to the machine understandable language. So your interpreter will convert that. So your interpreter will store a value called a equal to 10. So whenever you ask what is the value of a, so it gives you 10. Okay, because computer doesn't understand what is 10, 20, a, b, and it only understands zeros and ones. So there should be something who should convert that things into zeros and ones. Okay, in a very simple way, byte code. So there are other things very deeply to understand. We don't need all the stuff. So on a higher level understanding, so there should be something which should be converted. So that is nothing but a converter. Converter is nothing but an interpreter. So that's why Python is called an interpreter language. Python has an interpreter. So you don't need to say any data type in Python. If you want to create any data in Java, if you want to create Java or C or C++, if I want to create any float variable, you say float equal to float a or b equal to 20.2. So decimal value, right? Decimal value means anything after point is a decimal value. So if you want to create any float variable, you need to say like this in Java or C or C++. But in Python, you will get an error. You can directly say b equal to 20.2, because Python can able to understand whenever you create a variable, it understands what type of data type it is. So I say what is the type of b? Type of b means when I say like this, it will give me what is the data type of b. See, it is giving me what? Sorry, I did not type b. Type of b. Okay, it is giving me float. Can you able to see? So it will understand it is a float data type. Even though you don't say anything called float here, it will understand it is a float variable. Are you understanding, right? What I mean to say here? So you don't need to say any data type prior to the thing. See, in Java, if you want to say again a string variable, you say string s equal to, you will say within double quotes some name Nikhil. Okay, you will get an error here again. So because you don't need to say string, float, nothing. In Python, you can directly say s equal to Nikhil. Okay, s equal to Nikhil. So what is the data type of s? This time the data type of s is string data type, str. What is the data type a? I said a equal to 10, right? 10 is an integer, right? So what is the type of a? The type of a is nothing but an integer. Can you able to see, right? So it will understand by default. You don't need to explain. You don't need to explain to your interpreter. It is an integer data type. It is a float data type, string data type. It will understand by itself. So that's why it is called dynamic type language. But whereas C, C++, Java are called static type language. Static means you need to define, especially you need to explicitly define what type of data type it is. Like you need to say float A, okay, int A, float B, string S, something like that. You don't need to say anything in Python. Okay, that is one advantage. In Python, semicolon is not mandatory. Okay, if you keep also no problem, if you don't keep also no problem. What I mean to say, if I say S equal to Nikhil, okay, if I keep semicolon also no problem. If I print what is S, I'll get output S. Single quotation, double quotations, don't worry, anything means same. In Python, it will understand if you give double quotation, you can say that it is giving me single quotations. No problem. Python can understand both single and double. It will able to process, even though you give in single or double, it will able to process accordingly. See, you understood, right? I am giving semicolon here. Next time I am not giving semicolon. Okay, and print yes, I got Nikhil again. So in Python, the semicolon is not mandatory, guys. Semicolon is not mandatory. If you keep also no problem. If you remove also no problem. So, but in Java or any other languages, semicolon is mandatory. So why people say Python is simple and easy? The reason because Python will not demand you to write a very specific code. It will give you a lenience of writing the code. Understood, right? It will not ask you to write very tough way and maintain all the syntaxes very absolutely. Okay, so it will not force you to do in a very standard coding mode. Okay, so it is very simple way you can write, with a very simple notion. So that's why people try learning. Whoever wants to learn coding, they start with Python because Python is such a simple language. It's almost 5 to 10 times easy compared to other languages like Java, C or C++. Okay, so it is very easy for everyone to learn. So that's why you can see, right, you can able to see the differences of what we are doing. We are not giving any data type here, we are not giving semicolon here, still I get the output. Okay, so that is why you say. And third step you need to know Python. See, in Python, if you want to run any code, okay, you don't need to compile the code. See, I'm only directly I say yes. Okay, I'm saying what is yes, I'm saying yes, you're getting output. Am I trying to use any compilation? In Java, if you want to execute any code, you need to compile it. What is compilation? You need to ask, you need to see, whoever knows Java here, just they will connect it what I'm trying to say. See, if I want to run a Java program, I cannot directly say Java filename.java. First thing I need to say Java C filename.java. That means when I say the step, it will give me errors. If there are any errors or warnings, it will show me. Then if I clear all the errors, then I can say Java file.java. So that means in order to execute any file, in order to get the output, you need to take two steps. One step is you need to compile it. So that means you need to check for any errors are existing. Then you need to, if there are no errors, then you need to run the file. So in Python, you don't need to do that. Python, you can directly execute the file. Understood, right? You can directly execute the file. In C, C++, what you do, C, C++ or Java, you cannot run the file directly. You cannot say ./a. You need to say gcc filename.c. And then after you will say ./a.out. That means you need to execute. So what I mean to say in a simple way, there is no compilation in Python. Okay, whereas in C, Java, C++, they are called programming languages. They are pure programming languages. So they have compilation. So Python is a scripting language. All the scripting languages doesn't have compilation. What is right? Compilation means there is no extra step of compiling the code. You can directly run the code. Okay, you don't need to check for any errors. In the execution itself, if there are any errors, it will show. Understood, right? You don't need to do two steps for executing any code. In Python, you don't need to use two steps. You can use only direct step of executing the code. So that's why Python is called a scripting language. What is this called? Scripting language. Scripting language means what? Scripting language means what? There is no compilation. No compilation. Are you guys getting? I will try. People who are freshers who doesn't have any experience, are you trying to get what I'm trying to say? Are you trying to compare what I'm trying to say? Any version you can install, guys. Any version you can install. 3.9.4 latest version you can install. There is no problem of installing any version. Okay. 3.9.4 is the latest version. Please install them. So Python is a scripting languages because there is no compilation required. I don't compile the code. Okay. So there are other scripting languages. JavaScript, JavaScript is a scripting language. In JavaScript also, you don't compile the code. In PHP also, you don't compile the code. In Perl also, you don't compile the code. In shell scripting also, you don't compile the code. Understood, right? You don't compile the code. All this, Python is one of the scripting languages among this. Okay. So you don't compile the code. You only run the code directly, or you execute the code directly. So there is no scope of compile time errors. In Python, there is no concept of compilation. Okay. There is no scope of compile time errors. Everything is a runtime here. Everything is a execution. Everything will work at the execution time point. Okay. You need to understand that. Fourth step, what you need to understand is Python is both object oriented and procedure oriented. Okay. Python is both object oriented and procedure oriented. What does it mean? By Python is both procedure oriented and object oriented. Oh. So what does it mean is, I will tell you simple way. What does it mean is, in C, do you use anything called class? No, right? In C program, if I want people who are not aware of any programming language, that's well and good. I will try to connect it again. I'll show you the differences of, but people who has idea, they will get to know. In C program, okay, do you have any concept of class? You don't have any concept of class, object, okay, method and anything. Method, I mean to say within the class. So there is no concept of any object oriented programming in C. So that's why it is called as a procedure oriented. Procedure means step by step execution. So you write into main in C, then whatever you are writing, it will execute one by one. Step by step execution is called a procedure oriented way. In Java, if you want to write a simple program in Java, for every simple program, you need to create a class. You cannot run any program in Java without class, because Java is a pure object oriented programming language. Understood, right? So what I mean to say is Python is both object oriented and procedure oriented. You can write any program like Java and like C. Understood, right? You can write any program in Python similar like Java or similar like C. That means you can write without any class, or you can write with complete class implementation. Understood, right? So Python is both object oriented and procedure oriented. So you can write step by step program, or you can create a class and you can able to create objects, you can able to call the methods, you can do the same as what you do in Java. And also you can do step by step execution. So Python can use whatever it wants. So Python is very simple and very easily adaptable to everyone. Understood, right? Everyone can easily adaptable to Java, Python. The reason, because Python is both procedure oriented and object oriented. So the next step, what I am trying to say, is the best step in Python. Okay, the best step in Python. The reason, because best feature of Python. Python has extensible libraries. Extensible libraries. What does it mean? Anyone can say what does it mean? Python has lot of modules, guys. Lot of modules, packages. Okay, modules, packages. So people will say why Python is simple compared to others. Can I say what the reason why Python is simple compared to others? You don't need to write any code in Python from the scratch, guys. Python is such a language, you don't need to write anything. It is just like plug and play. What is that? Plug and play. Plug and play. Okay, plug and play. What does it mean, plug and play? You don't need to write any code from the scratch. In Python, lot of the code is already inbuilt. You just need to plug that code and write in your coding. Okay, suppose I want to, in a simple way, I want to find a square root of a number. Okay, I don't need to write a complete logic of square root of a number. I can just plug the module which is related to square root, and then I can use it. So what I mean to say, in Python, there are hundreds and thousands and lakhs of modules which are inbuilt. That means they have already written the code. They have written code from the scratch. So you just need to plug that code in your program and directly use it. Understood, right? So compared to other programming languages, other scripting languages, Python is more simple and more easy, because Python is having extensible libraries. it consists of lot of modules and packages. What does it has? It has lot of modules and packages. So which are inbuilt. You don't need to write any code from the scratch. Okay, in Python, you write some 5 lines of code, whereas if you write in Java 10 lines or 20 lines of code, you can write only 3 to 4 lines or maximum 5 lines of code in Python, which is equivalent to Java. The reason because you don't need to write any code from the scratch. Okay, you don't need to write any code from the scratch. You can write it from plug and play. That means someone has written the code, you just utilize that code in your program. So you can able to implement that task. So that's why Python is more powerful and more easy compared to other languages. Because I don't want to write much. So someone who wants to do big things with a simple orientation, so people will go with Python, because I want to do big things but in a simple way. So Python is the exact subject, that is exact programming language that is simple. So you may ask me why I am saying programming language and scripting language every time. Every scripting language can be called as programming language. Don't worry about it. I can say Python programming or scripting. Okay, but I cannot say scripting as program. Okay, I cannot say scripting as programming, but programming as scripting, because Python also supports building the programs. Okay, Python also supports creating the programs and then creating the applications. So you can say Python as a programming language also. Okay, please don't confuse about that word. Okay, understood, right? So I hope everyone understood these simple features. Is there any doubt with this, what I mean to say? Is there any doubt with that? Anyone? Is there any doubt? People who are new. Other people is very, I think everyone knows. Yeah.
Yeah, scripting language means we
No
don't
compilation.
need to compile. Yeah,
Yes.
means how it is happening internally.
Yeah, there is a pre-built compiler. So whenever you are running, you are executing itself, the compilation will happen. So that will be taken care by interpreter.
Okay, same. And Java
That's all right.
also having compiler, no?
Java has
Yeah.
compiler. Python doesn't have compiler. Python has interpreter. All the programming languages has compiler. All the scripting languages has interpreter. Okay.
Okay.
So every programming language has, see, there are two converters in the market. In the complete computer languages, there are two converters. One is compiler and other is interpreter. Compiler is for programming languages like C, C++, Java. Okay, interpreter is like is for scripting languages like Python, JavaScript, PHP. Understood, right? So these both are what converters.
Right.
They both are converters. Okay, converters. What are the interpreter and compiler? Converters. Because I should convert, right? Whatever I'm writing, my computer should understand. So there should be a converter. So that converter is nothing but an interpreter. Okay, I'm not going internally because I want to explain you on a higher level idea, because this is not a complete course of Python, right? So I just want to explain you on a higher level idea. Okay. So you know, right? You know how to create an int variable. How to create an int variable? You can directly say a equal to 10. You can create any number of. In Python, there is no limit for int variable. As of Java, like other programming language, there is no limit of creating a int variable in Python. Okay, please do remember this. I can create any variable. Let's say a. What is the output of a? A is nothing but this one. Whatever I have given here is exactly the same. It is given. If you want, you can see it. So there is no limit of giving the value. There is no length in Python. In Python, there is no limitation of giving the integer value. Okay, please do remember this one. So if you want to create a float variable, you can say something like b equal to any variable. See, a is nothing but a variable. Okay, it is a variable. B is also a variable. Okay, you can say anything, a, b, c, d, anything. Okay, so a, b, so b equal to 10.223355. You can give anything. Okay, so if I print b, it is a b variable. Second time, if I say c equal to Python, okay, c is a what string variable. What is c? If I print c, it will give me Python. So I have three different variables. One is an int variable, it doesn't have any points. It is a single string, single integer, and b is a decimal point. It has. It is called as a float value. C is a string. It has a string variable. Okay. So you can define the variables in three different ways. One is this way. Normally you can assign one by one. Other way, you can say a comma b comma c equal to, okay, c equal to 10 comma 20.2 comma nickel. What is that? You understood, right? What I'm trying to say? Everyone understood what I'm trying to say? What does it mean? 1 minute.
Yeah, it can be integer, float, and string.
Yeah. So you need to understand the difference here. You know, normally you can say a equal to 10. This is one way of assigning a variable. Okay. This is one way of assigning multiple different variables. Otherwise, you can also say the same thing: a comma b comma c equal to 10 comma 20.2 comma. This is nickel. So this both are same. Okay. This both are same. If I want to know what is a, I'm sorry, I did mistake. Instead of b, I have given c. Okay. If I say a, what is a? If I say what is a, now what is a? What is the value of a? It is 10. That means it is giving me a equal to 10. That means it is going to align a to 10. Next, what is b? B is 20.2. What is c? C is nickel. Understood, right? See, these are called, see, you need to understand one simple thing again here. If I say a equal to 10, and again if I say a equal to 20, what is the value of a now? Can you tell me? Is it 10 or 20?
Yeah, it will be 20.
Can people say what is the value of a? Can you please
20.
rejoin people who are not able to,
Yeah.
I mean, get my voice, because other people can able to get it. So I mean, that is a problem of yours only. Please rejoin. No? Can you tell me what is the thing? 20. So
Yeah,
what
A
about
equal
10?
to 20.
What about 10? So what about if I say a, I'll get 20. Yes, 20 is the right answer. But what about 10? What about 10, guys?
It is replaced to 20.
Yeah. So there is no replacement in Python. It is creating a new object. Okay, assigning the value to it. Okay. Understood, right? Now a is being identified as a new object, and then the value of a equal to 20. So a equal to 10 is being removed. It is removed by a garbage collector. So anything that is not used, any variable which is not used in Python will be automatically removed. Understood, right? So the latest assignment of the variable is the variable value. Okay, you need to remember two things here. The latest assignment of the value for a variable is the value of that variable itself. That means if I say a equal to 20, a equal to 20, a equal to 30, a equal to 40, if I say what is a, now the answer is 40 only. The answer is not 10, 20, 30, because all the 10, 20, 30 will be vanished by itself. Okay, there will be something called garbage collector. It will remove the data by itself. Understood, right? Everyone getting what I'm trying to say? Anything that is latestly assigned for a variable, that is the latest value. That is the latest value of that variable. Okay. So you need to remember that point very, very clear. In Python, that is very, very. Okay. So now the value of a is 20. Similarly, here a equal to 10, b equal to 20, c equal to 30. Nickel will be vanished. Okay. When I say a, b, c equal to this. Understood, right? You're trying to get right what I'm trying to say. So a equal to 10, b 20, and c is nickel. So this is one way of assigning variables. You can assign like this, or you can also assign like this. Okay, guys, please be patient. You are already knowing all these things, because I'll slowly increase the speed of the process as we progress. Okay, please be patient. Please be patient for at least some time. Okay, once we are increasing the speed of it, so we will go in a flow. Okay, we will go in a flow. Clear, right, everyone? So my target is everyone should be online with the process. So next thing, if I say, I can also say a equal to b equal to c equal to 10. If I want to assign a same value for all the variables, okay, I can do that. Now the value of a is 10, b is 10, c is 10. Are you getting right? This is one more way of assigning a variable. In C, in Python or Java, I mean in Python or I'm sorry, in C or C++ or Java, you cannot do this because here you are not giving any integer float at anything. So you cannot do this way in Java or C or C++ because there you need to say int a, float b, and string with c. Okay, here you cannot, you don't need to say like that. So similarly, you can say a equal to b equal to c equal to some value. So that a will be that value, b will be that value, and c will be that value. So if you want to assign all the variables with one value, you can give it. You can assign any variables. Okay, so it is not like only a b c. You can say a comma b comma c comma d comma e comma f comma. You can assign any number of variables, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6. It should be exactly as the number of variables you create. Okay, this is called 1 2 3 4 5 6. So 6 should be there. So if I say a equal to 1, b is 2, it will automatically assign. C is 3, d is 4, e is 5, and f is 6. Are you able to see everyone? So it will automatically assign all the variables like that. So this is one more way of assigning the variable in Python. Okay, are you guys clear, right? Everyone clear, right?
Yeah, yes.
Fine, guys. Anyone who everyone who's fine, I'll not ask you later on. Okay. So we know the simple ways of assigning the variable. So let us see, is it a right way of assigning a variable? Can I say a underscore 11113333 equal to 100? Can I say that way?
Yeah, maybe.
Hmm.
Maybe. No idea. Mhm.
Yeah, what about others?
Yeah, we can start with the alphabet or we can start with the underscore.
Yes, that's right. There is some rule.
I don't
Okay.
know.
So there is some rule. Okay? You
Yes.
can. This is the right way of assigning. You can also assign it, but this is not a right practice. People don't do it. No one will do this kind of stupidity. Okay. But what I'm trying to say, this is also a right way of assigning. Okay. Right way of assigning means it is possible. Okay? It is possible. So there are certain rules. Okay. There are certain rules how to assign a variable to a value. Okay, so that variable means object. You need to say it can be a variable, it can be a class, it can be a function. Okay, so there are certain rules to assign a object, to assign a value to a object. So that rules are nothing but identifiers. Okay, what are those called as? Identifiers. So they are called, I mean, those are called identifiers, and the rules are for identifiers. Okay, so there are certain identifiers. Let's see what are the identifiers, how to define a variable, what are the rules to define a variable, what are possible, what are not possible. So it is like one time reading. One time read, you don't need to learn it again and again. So that is one time read in your whole life. Once you know how to define a variable properly, you can define any time in your life. Okay. So you don't need to learn it again and again at any point of time. So let us discuss what does it exactly means. So that is called identifier. What does it mean? Identifiers. So what does identifiers means in Python?
Sir, what is the default value for the variable?
I didn't get you what your question.
Means what is the default value for the
What does
variable? Means in Java, like integer, we are not assigning anything like integer a. So default value will be written as a 0. So like this.
none here. If you don't provide anything, it will
Oh.
be considered as a. So here you see there are certain rules. Okay, I will explain
Okay.
you
What
one
will
by
be?
one rule.
Mhm.
Okay, identifier cannot be keywords. Okay, there are certain things called keywords in Python. Okay, what are these? There are certain keywords in Python. Please go on mute. No, someone who is not speaking. Yeah, while the class is going, please don't speak. Okay, after that you can speak. Yeah. So there are certain rules. So first step is identifiers cannot be keywords. What are identifiers? Identifiers are the rule to declare the variable, class, and function. So till now we did not see what is class and function. So let us only focus on what is variable. We know what is variable, right? A, B, C, D, and all we have seen. So first step is saying identifiers cannot be keywords. So we need to understand what is keywords. Keywords are those which are inbuilt words in Python. Okay, what are keywords? They are some inbuilt words in Python. Okay, which are already having some purpose of using them. I'll say you need to say import keywords. Sorry, keyword. Import keyword. Keyword dot kw list. Okay, keyword dot kw list. Okay, can you able to see some list right here? False, none, is, lambda, non-local, not, or, pass, race, if. Okay, with can you able to see some words, right? What does it means? You need to say import keyword. Okay, keyword dot kw list, keyword list. What does kw list means? Keyword list. So that means there are some words which are there in Python, which are already built in. That means, so while they are developing the Python interpreter or Python structure, they have taken some words as a consideration. So they said these words cannot be used anywhere outside, except it should be used for some purpose. So every word has some purpose. You know, right? Delete is having some purpose of deleting a variable or deleting a object. Else is having, else is whenever any condition is false, else will come. Except means it is like a try and catch. No, catch is nothing but except. Okay, finally is a block. Pass is again if you are not performing any activity. So there are certain keywords which are there in Python which are having, each and every keyword has some purpose. You cannot use these keywords for variables. I cannot say if equal to 100. Can I say if generally why if is used, if a equal to, if is used in conditional statements. You cannot say if equal to 100. Can I say if equal to 100? Can anyone say if equal to 100? No, right? If is not 100, it cannot be used as a variable. So they say that certain keywords, if is a part of keyword, can you see that? Can you find if somewhere else? Can you see if is there, right? If is there here, right? So you cannot use if as a variable. You cannot say if equal to 100. You will get error. Can you get it? You cannot say for equal to 200. Can anyone? Did you see anyone use a for equal to 200? Did anyone used with or something like while equal to 100? Can anyone use while equal to 100? No. These things are not used. You cannot use these things because while has some purpose. While is used for a loop. Try is used for some exceptionality. Okay. So there is some purpose for each and every word here. That purpose is already defined. Who is defining this purpose? This purpose is defined by Python. Already it is inbuilt defined purpose. You cannot use that purpose for your own sake. Okay. So you cannot use any keyword as a identifier. You cannot say anything called if equal to 100, for equal to 200, or while equal to. You cannot use all these built-in words. All these are built-in words. So second step, what it is saying, no special characters except underscore is used as an identifier. So what does it mean is, I cannot say a at the rate 123 at the rate 123 equal to 100. At the rate, you know, right? You can see, right, after your function keys, you can see some of the variables, some of the special characters. At the rate, dollar symbol, okay, hash symbol, percentage symbol, ampersand symbol, got it, right? All these are special characters. You cannot use any special character like underscore, I mean at the rate, dollar, okay, or the hash, percentage as a identifier. That means as a variable. You cannot say. If you do like this, you will get error. Got it? Right? You got error, right? You cannot use at the rate. At the rate is not used. At the rate is not used as a keyword. Except underscore, you cannot use it. What means you can use underscore a 1 equal to 100. This is also right way because I use underscore. I can say underscore underscore. I can use n number of underscores. A underscore a equal to 1000. This is also possible. Okay, you can use only underscore equal to 100. This is also possible. You can say underscore equal to 200. This is also possible. I mean, this is not right way, but what I'm saying, it is possible. So what I'm trying to say to you is, you cannot use any special characters except underscore. Underscore can be anytime or anywhere it comes. It comes a underscore any number of times it may come. Okay, equal to 100. Like this it may come. It may come underscore first, it may come underscore first, then numbers later. This is also possible. So you can use underscore anywhere and any times, but only underscore is used. Okay, in Python, only underscore used. Any times and anywhere you can use as a keyword, as an identifier. So the second step, what it is saying, no special characters except underscore is used as an identifier. You cannot use any special characters like at the rate, hash, dollar, anything except underscore. So underscore can be any time and any time you can use it underscore. Okay, any number of times you can use underscore and anywhere you can use underscore, but only underscore can be used. So what is the third step? It is saying number should not come first. That means you can say A1111 something like this equal to 200. So here, what is the first thing came? It is a character. A is a character, right? A is an alphabet. A is not a number. You cannot say 1A equal to 100. So the character, the number should not come as a first. Okay, as a first letter. First letter should not be a number. It cannot be a number between 1 to 9. Understood, right? Or 0 to 9. 0 is also good. You cannot bring any numbers as the first, as a first letter as part of your variable. So you can use only the alphabets or underscore. You can say A underscore A111 underscore 111. You can use any number of times. This is possible. Anything is possible except number coming first. Number coming first. Alphabet may come first, underscore can come first, but number should not come first. Understood, right? Keyword should not come first. What are the things we learned? Keyword should not come first. Like all these keywords should not come. Special character should not come. Number should not come. Okay. So fourth step, Python is a case sensitive. That means if I say A equal to 10 and if I say print capital A, can I do that? This is wrong. I'll get error. I'll say that A is not defined. You cannot say small a equal to 10 and you cannot print capital A. So it will not compare that small a and capital A. Okay, it is a case sensitive one. Case sensitive one means it will not understand if you are giving smaller character. So it is a pure case sensitive thing. Are you guys getting what I'm trying to say? Everyone? So what are the four things we discussed? Keywords cannot first come as an identifier. Second step, except underscore, we cannot use any special character. Third step, we cannot use numbers as a first character, first letter. And fourth step, Python is a case sensitive language. You cannot mismatch with the case sensitive. Okay, understood, right? So someone who is having any technical problem, Surya Rao, so please contact the team. No, okay, please contact the Bigasoft team. Okay, I will close it for today. I'll give you some examples. Please tell me how many are possible, how many are not possible in Python. Okay. Okay, I will just give you some random questions and tell me how many are possible, how many are not possible in Python. Okay, as identifiers. Yeah, tell me how many are possible, how many are not possible. First one possible, yes or no?
Yes.
Everyone. First one possible?
Sir, it's possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Second one possible?
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir, it's
Second one?
possible.
Everyone. Any doubts? Second one not possible, any doubts? Third one possible?
Yes, sir, it's possible.
Yes, it is possible.
Yes, sir.
Fourth one possible?
Yes, sir, it's
Yes, sir.
possible.
Fifth one possible?
Not possible.
Not possible. Are you sure 51 not possible, everyone?
Sir, it starts with a number.
Yeah. Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sixth one possible?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it's
sir.
possible.
Yes, possible.
Seventh one possible?
Yes, possible.
I think it's possible.
So, right, you are right. Perfect. So, you can create any variable. You know it, right? You know what to create a variable. So, generally, it is not the right way of creating variables. You cannot say like multiple different ways. So, I can help you. You can only just say both the combination of numbers. So, if you want to create a proper variable, you can say a1 equal to 100. So, which consists of both numbers and characters. So, this is also right way. Or you can directly give only the numbers, only the characters. So don't give this one. This is possible, but don't give this one. Okay, what I'm trying to say, possible is something and using in your code is something. So that is not a right practice of using the code. Okay, but don't use that code. Clear, right, everyone? But it is possible in Python. So so because of that, it will not get you any error. You cannot get any error in your code. So people who are accepting new joinees for today, they can leave. Whoever are not new joinees, whoever are not joined, because I'm going to explain the syllabus. I'm going to explain the syllabus. Okay, people who are not new joinees, they can leave the class. Thank you, guys. I'm going to explain the syllabus. Who already know the syllabus, they can leave the class. Okay, fine. How many are new, guys? 3 people are new. Ashok, Rakesh, and Surya. Right? Anyone else?
Sir, this is my first demo class, sir.
Sorry?
Sir, this is my first demo class today.
Yeah, this is a demo class also. This is, I mean, we have started already. So not like a demo, it is like a class 1. Okay, this is the first class. So
Okay, sir.
are you guys experienced or freshers? Can you tell me out of 3 people, do you have any experience in coding, or do you have freshers in Python, or you have any experience in manual testing, or what is the reason you want to learn? Can you please explain about yourself?
No, sir. No, sir.
You don't have any experience in coding, or you don't have any experience in programming also?
No, sir. I have non-branch.
Sorry?
Electrical engineering. Electrical engineering.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. 1 minute. So I will try to explain you simple way. Okay. How many, do you have any years of gap? What about Surya Rao? Can you message? Ashok, Surya Rao. Rakesh. Because I want to know, like, I want to know your process.
Sir,
Hmm.
recently I have resigned in Lomax Industries, Gujarat, Sanand.
Okay. So you don't have any IT
I have
experience.
no, sir. I have only 1 year experience in electrical maintenance engineering.
Okay. Other people, you have 3 years gap. Okay. Then what about Surya Rao? Surya Rao, can you able to speak or message? Surya Rao, can you able to speak or message? Can you rejoin Surya Rao? You're not able to do. Are you not able to at least message me? If you don't want to speak, message no. That won't be a problem, right? Okay, so guys, what I'm trying to say, this course is for everyone, okay, not for freshers or experienced people. This course is for everyone. The reason I'm going to say this course is generally you need to remember. So we are going to start everything from the scratch. What I'm going to show, everything from the scratch. So we are going to see from the Python basics. So here, what we are choosing, there are totally 3 important streams in IT. First stream is development, okay. Second stream is testing, and third stream is business. So if you have done any business MBA or anything, you can go be a business analyst, or you can be a scrum master, or you can be a project manager. So that is not possible for anyone at this point of time. Second step is be a developer, and third step is be a tester. Okay, so there are only three important roles that you can able to get. So it is very difficult to go as a developer. Understood, right? It is very difficult for anyone to go as a developer. The reason because they will expect you to be very strong in the coding, extremely strong in the coding. Okay. So the easy way to enter into the IT industry is to from testing. Are you clear, right, everyone? Are you guys understanding what I'm trying to say? The easy way to enter into the IT industry is to testing, because development is very tough. So they will ask you a lot of, they will expect you to be very strong in all the stuff. So they'll expect you a lot of things in development. So it is very easy to enter as a test engineer. So in testing also, we have 2 types of testing generally. One is manual testing, and another is automation testing. Manual testing means what? Just manually validating the things. Simply you are going to application and checking whether all the functionalities are working or not. So nowadays, every company is expecting to be automation testing. Okay, every company. So first you are getting right from the starting what I'm trying to say. So easy way to IT enter into the IT industry. So someone who wants to up their career into IT industry as a software engineer or a software developer or a software test engineer. So there are only 3 roles. One is development, testing, and business analyst, or more on business side. So you cannot go for a business side now because you have did MTech, you have did people have been into IT. So no, you cannot go for business, because for going to business you need to have MBA degree and you need to have a lot of experience in IT already. So that is not possible. So we have only 2 options now: development and testing. Development is very tough to enter because they expect you to be very strong in coding. So the easy entry to IT industry with a little coding is only testing. You don't need to know that much coding in testing, but you can easily get a job. Okay, so that is the easy way you can able to enter into IT. So in the testing also there are 2 things. One is manual testing and automation testing. So manual testing is what? Manual testing is just you are just validating manually. You suppose if someone asks you to test an application, so you will go there and you will test it. You will just check what are working, what are not working. So that is manual testing. So manual testing everyone can do. You can do manual testing. Everyone can do manual testing. So nowadays every company is asking automation testing. What testing they are asking? Automation testing. That means they are expecting someone should be strong in both coding and manual testing. So people are expecting not only manual testing, you should be also strong in coding. Little coding. You don't need to know much coding like development, but little coding at least. So little coding at least. Understood, right? So you need only then you will have a long life. If you want to stay in IT industry for next 30 years or 40 years, next to minimum 20 years at least, you need to learn automation testing. If you are not learning automation testing, there is no scope of you in IT industry. Okay. Second step, in automation testing also, there are two ways. One is you can learn Selenium and you can learn other things. And there are web application testing and other testing like performance testing, other things. So web application testing is a very important testing which is there in the market. So that is nothing but Selenium. Selenium is a web application testing. So web application testing can be done with multiple languages. You can do with Java, you can do with Python, you can do with PHP, you can do with Perl, you can do with other languages also. C Sharp. Okay, you can do with other languages. But within that, Python is the simplest language. Am I trying to connect you, right? Am I trying to connect you with you, right? So first step is what? Entering into IT. Simplest way is Python. The simplest way is testing. Within testing, again, two things: automation and manual. Within that, so now every company is looking for automation. So in the automation, there are again multiple ways. Like you can learn Java with testing, Python with testing, or C Sharp with testing. So if you want to learn Java, Java is 10 times difficult than Python. Okay. See, you are saying that you are very new to Python, you are very new to coding, and you want to learn automation testing. So it is very difficult to you to learn Java and again testing. So if you want to learn big things in a simple way, so people start learning Python because Python is a simple language which can be understood and can be written by everyone. Okay, it is very simple. It is very simple compared to Java and other languages. So there are two popular languages in market. One is Java and Python. In testing, automation testing, two languages. One is Java, other is Python. So Java is very tough. Python is very simple. Which one you want to choose? You want to choose Python. So indirectly, what we are trying to do, we are going to learn Python automation, which can secure your job in IT in a simple way. Understood, right? That is what the target here means. So what I want to say in an indirect way here is, if you want to enter into IT with a zero experience in IT, okay, you have the best option is to be a tester. So within the tester also, you have two things: automation and manual. If you are a manual test engineer, there is no scope for you in IT. You cannot survive in IT. So if you are automation test engineer, only then you can survive in IT. Okay. Within that again, automation. Again, I have Python and Java. So again, Python, Java is tough. So I will go with Python. So Python automation testing will secure you easy way of entering into IT. That is the overall statement I want to say. So people are saying generally, if you want to learn Selenium, I am not supposed to teach Python, but I am including Python as extra topics in my syllabus. The reason, because there are people like you who doesn't have any IT experiences. So I am going to teach Python. I am going to teach all the concepts of Selenium. So how exactly company is requiring. So what are the company standards are there? What company is looking for 2 years, 3 years gap people? I'm going to cover those. So you can right away keep 2 to 2.5 years experience after the course is completed. Okay, I'll give you project, what to keep and what not to keep. I'll give you all the things. Understood, right? Are you guys getting right what I'm trying to say, everyone? So clear, right? Rakesh, Ashok, Surya Rao is not speaking. I mean, he's not even responding. You can message if you can't speak.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you understood, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
can right away keep a gap. Because I will share you all the contacts, HR contacts to you. I will make sure that you get a job interview call from the HR. So your target is to crack them. That's all. Okay. So
Okay,
you
sir.
have to crack them after the course. It will take 40 to 45 days course. You have to complete. Yeah. Rakesh, any doubts?
No, sir.
Thank you. Surya Rao? Thank you then. Thank you.